Hello, everybody. This is Matthew Brand. Welcome to Magnum Create. And today is an episode of Magnum Misconceptions. Now, here's the deal. We're talking about human trafficking in this episode. And we're going to talk about the misconceptions on it. Now, every time there's a massage parlor busted or something, there's three main questions. One, what about the victims? Did they get help? Two, why did it go on for so long? Or the police knew about it? This place has been there for years. Nobody checked it out. Nobody reported anything. What about the children? Are you all heartless bastards? And three, why do people keep bringing up making it legal every time this happens? Like, are they sick in the head? What's going on? So let's talk about that. Number one, what happened about the victims? Did they get the help? Well, this is the problem with human trafficking. It conflates evil human traffickers with people who just technically are breaking the law human trafficking. Basically, if you have a business and you allow people to have sex in your business, you're still technically a human trafficker. Doesn't mean you're evil, doesn't mean you're doing anything bad. Everybody can be consensual, but you're still a human trafficker because it's against the law. So that being said, sometimes that doesn't mean it means they're not victims, and sometimes the victims themselves are charged with human trafficking. Yeah, I know it's complicated, but basically, if you're a prostitute, you can get charged with human trafficking. So these victims, did they get help? Well, they got arrested. That's basically what happened. So, you're thinking, oh, these people were kidnapped because they were sleeping on cots or whatever. No, they're just cheap and didn't want to spend money on like half the money they were earning on hotels and motels and all that stuff. They decided to work out of a business. The business took a cut. Now they're all human traffickers and they all got arrested. So that victim, Magnum misconception. Two, why did this go on for so long? Well, like I said, a lot of times it's consensual. The police know it's consensual. If they knew people were being held against their will, they will bust down that door and rescue those people. Police aren't heartless. They're not. Look, I support police. If you don't like that, whatever. But at the same time, hear me out. Not all police are good. And if they're pigs, I will gladly call them pigs, right? But I don't mean all police when I say that. Some police are bad. Some police are good. Sometimes you just have to recognize that people are individuals, whether they wear a badge or not. But vast majority of people, 99% of people, whether they wear a badge or not, would burst in the door to help a person being held against their will. All anybody would have. And now that people say like, well, but Matthew Brand. These people, they don't speak English. Matthew Brand. These people, they're being held in a foreign place they don't know very well. They're scared. The victims are scared. Matthew Brand. They've been told that no one would help them. They don't. No. They just. It's quick, easy money for a lot of people. Everybody, a lot of in these storefronts. I'm not talking about all situations of human trafficking. I'm not talking about all situations of prostitution, but a lot of times, nothing's an absolute, but most of the time in these storefronts, these whatever reason, the unfortunate circumstance or whatever or personal choice they've become prostitutes by is consensual. And between both parties, like no one's sticking a gun up to anybody's head, making them go in there and have sex either. So that being the case, with it all being consensual, a lot of times in these areas, the police have better things to tackle, right? Now, in cities where people pull you over for having an air freshener dangling from your mirror, okay, yeah, they'll probably tackle that place in a couple years. They'll keep checking it out. They'll raid it a few times, and then the massage parlor calm down until they get a few regulars that pressure them enough to make them feel comfortable. But otherwise, really, the police in these grittier cities, they don't care. So then you have the third question: why do people keep bringing up making it legal? What is wrong with these people? Well, from their perspective, at least, right? Whether you're against prostitution or not, from a lot of people's perspective, who work in sex work, who dabble in as customers or whatever, or people who are just familiar with the sex work in other countries, right? Because it's pretty much legal in every country except the United States, in some form or another, or at least has a much higher blind eye turn to it, right? So that being the case, the big issue, hear me out, the big issue is People, these persons, remember, the prostitutes, these so-called victims are also getting charged with human trafficking. They can't go to the police if anything goes wrong. If a guy beats them, if a guy attacks them, if a guy, does something to them because she messed up, or because two wrongs don't make a right. Sometimes the girl will try and steal your phone. Sometimes a girl will steal their money. Sometimes some dude will take advantage of you, try to kidnap you. And all kinds of different stuff will happen to these girls. Um, you'll have all kinds of situations, and so these girls, they can't report to the police because they have to explain that they were doing something illegal. So what are they gonna do? Turn, like, here, put the handcuffs on me. But by the way, that guy beat the crap out of me down the street. Okay, we're never going to find him. But thanks for turning yourself in. Like what that stupidity on everybody's part if they actually about to do that. And it's only going to take them a couple times. I mean, some girls do try to get the guys who hurt them arrested or whatever, or call the police. And after a couple of times of that not working, they just kind of realize, hey, might as well just keep it to myself because it's not worth the arrest. Women get arrested if they speak up because once again they're not really victims. A lot of times they're willing participants, and that's what makes it complicated. But however, if you did have a legal system, these women, they can get tested for STDs, they can get checked in the rehab centers better, they can get a card to show that they're a prostitute, it can go on their record, but it doesn't have to be held against them criminally, right? They don't have to have their freedoms and their rights taken away for something they chose to do with their own body. It's so much that goes into it, which is why a lot of people are like, yes, it should be legal. In these other countries, women get tested, they have cards, they do all this stuff. They work out of a safe business. If so-called human trafficking is legal there, really they just call it brothel owning, right? Where it's legal, it's a brothel owning. Where it's illegal, it's considered human trafficking. So if it's they can work out of a safe place, they can work at a club where it attracts a lot of people, and it can be more welcome. Like, now, not everybody in the neighborhood or a city or whatever where it goes on is going to like it, and that's understandable. But in areas where you know damn well it's happening anyway, why not just sanction it off into a red light district? Clean up a derelict piece of crap area and turn it into something nice looking. I could show you tons of houses in Detroit that are just degraded and crappy, left to rot, and no one's getting any money off of it besides some corrupt politician maybe. Tear it down, get it cleaned up, get the women cleaned up, make it legal, and let them work out of it legally. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, Matty Brand, I don't like prostitution. That's against my religion. That is wrong. That is, even if it's somebody's own body, it is morally wrong to allow somebody to make that type of decision. And you know what? I agree with you. I actually agree with you. I am a Christian. I'm a Christian. I don't think anybody should wake up in the morning and decide, you know what, I should smoke crack, or I should be a prostitute, or I should try a bunch of different drugs or do a bunch of bad stuff. I think it's a bad decision. I think becoming a prostitute is a bad decision. But I think it should be a culturally bad decision, not a legally bad decision. We should condemn it as a culture. We should not condemn people who fall to the wayside and have them in handcuffs and getting their mugshot taken and embarrassing them with sex, put them on a sex offender list and all this different stuff for a bunch of consensual stuff. That's just an exaggeration of what people do in a bar anyway. Like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Sure. Hey, you want to go home with me? Sure. A lot of people, they do consensual stuff all the time, and they're not married. And the only difference of exchange is sometimes it's at least they sleep with people as often as some people who do prostitute on a rare occasion. They just do it for free. You'd have to make that illegal too to morally justify it. So, and some people would be completely okay making it illegal, but I think what people do with their own body is a right. It's your body, it's your right. You do what you want to. However, I don't think we should culturally we do have this issue in this country anyway, where we're culturally putting it on a pedestal, right? People who make that bad decisions, we put almost every bad decision person makes on the pedestal. Especially, I don't want to be sexist, but if they're a woman lately, because it's like women get the double standard, right? They're treated like crap on both ends of the spectrum. Like, hey, you chose to work all these time. What? Oh my God, I can't believe you're such a workaholic. Like, you don't have a family, and if they have a family, like, you didn't put your career first. Oh my God, I can't believe you. But at the same time, we put both on the pedestal too. Like, oh my God, you don't have kids and you focused on your career. You made something of yourself. Way to go. Oh my God, you're a at home mother and you just take care of your kids. Ugh, hardest job in the world, hardest job in the world. So we do both of them. Like they get they get the cake either way, but they also get the shit sandwich either way. It's kind of weird. So honestly, your body, your choice, in my opinion. But this is why people say this stuff, and that is the Magnum misconception, right? A lot of people, they see these reports and there's a little bit of a rift between people who are familiar with what's going on and what people are reading out of the articles. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any other topics you want me to tackle, feel free, especially if it's going on in Detroit. Anything with sports. I'm not familiar with sports, so peace.